I'm not even sure what the lyrics are to Dude Love's song, but Dude Love, terrible. We're moving on to part 2. We're talking about SmackDown, and Daniel Bryan. It looks like he's going to be turning heel. The seeds have obviously been planted. It looks like it. Obviously, with the feud going on with Big Show getting himself, Big Show intentionally disqualified last week on SmackDown against Mark Henry. Daniel Bryan, if you've seen any of his Ring of Honor stuff or any of his independent stuff, terrific heel, terrific heel. Some of the stuff he's going to be doing in the next couple of months is going to be a lot of fun. When he goes on to face the Royal Rumble winner, which is going to be Randy Orton.
Excited.
Randy Orton. The Royal Rumble's in his hometown of St. Louis, and everyone's thinking Randy Orton's going to be out. Most of the spoiler, the dirt sheets, have Randy Orton being out for several months. It's my belief this is just a ruse. Randy Orton's taking some time off, rest up. He probably does have a legitimate back injury, but he is going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to go on to WrestleMania, and he's going to face a heel Daniel Bryan for the world title. It makes sense. They've already got their huge attraction with The Rock and Cena, so they can do some undercard matches and kind of test out the talent, and this will be a terrific match. Two very good workers. Randy Orton's very deserving. He had a terrific 2011, albeit he did beat my my guy Christian a couple times, and that kind of sucked. But Tim Ernst, my old professor from UW-Fox, has a question. It's actually more of a statement. He says, SmackDown feels somewhat directionless without Orton and only a half-hearted Daniel Bryan heel turn. I do agree with this. However, I think the heel turn for Daniel Bryan does have to be slow. To just flip it right away, you know, you can do that, but I feel the longer you drag it out, the better. And SmackDown's current state is obviously suffering, but by the end of the month, Orton's going to be back. Christian, which I feel SmackDown is missing terribly, will be back after the Royal Rumble as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to be going on for SmackDown to be picking up in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, you know, I know you watch SmackDown and Raw. Cody Rhodes and Goldust have a thing going on. As a longtime fan, I don't know, what are your thoughts on Goldust?
He's a funny guy. He's entertaining to watch.
He certainly is. And Goldust on Twitter has been clamoring for a match with his brother at WrestleMania, his career versus the Intercontinental title. I'd love to see Dusty Rhodes' father get involved as the guest referee to decide the outcomes of both of his sons' careers. It looks like they might be going that route. It looks like they used the Booker T and Goldust past tag team relationship. We've seen Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, for those of you who are noobs, without makeup. On SmackDown, getting involved in his brother's matches, and hopefully we'll see that heat up right around the Royal Rumble time as well. We're going to talk about Sheamus real quick.
He's going on a tear.
Sheamus has been going on a tear. He's destroying everything in front of him. My only issue with it, of course, is that what is he doing? I mean, pinfall victory after pinfall victory after pinfall victory. Knockout with this, knockout with that. He doesn't have a feud. They're trying this thing with Wade Barrett, with Orton coming back at the Rumble. It looks like that's going to be a short-lived feud. This Jinder Mahal thing isn't doing Sheamus any favors. Now, there have been rumors about a TLC, or the Money in the Bank match coming back to WrestleMania, and I think that will be key for Sheamus, because it looks like 2012 may be the year of the Celtic Warrior. We're going to get back to some TNA news real quick. By news, I mean really WWE news, but it has to do with TNA. Ric Flair going into the Hall of Fame again with the Four Horsemen. I don't understand that. I guess this has to be a Triple H decision.
Definitely.
I can't see Vince McMahon doing TNA any favors by getting them publicity, and we know Triple H and Ric Flair have a very close relationship. I wonder if he's going to be there for the Hall of Fame induction. I mean, the only way I could see Vince allowing it would be if he could get out of his TNA contract. Maybe this is sort of a way to mend the fences between the two. Now, we do know of two TNA superstars that may be actually coming to the WWE this year. Samoa Joe's contract runs up. They've used him poorly. Well, they've used everyone poorly in the last couple of years. And it looks like Samoa Joe may jump over to the WWE. We'll see if he can fill kind of an Umaga role. For any of you who have not watched Samoa Joe, take the time and do it, because he's a terrific performer, and he's still a great worker, and I think he could fill the void of what the WWE is missing, and a big guy that's athletic. Another guy, Rob Van Dam. Mr. Monday Night. Looks like he might be jumping back to the WWE. Looks like he's interested in doing so. His contract expires sometime this year. The 30-day no-compete clause, of course, will have to go through for him to be able to jump back ship to the WWE, but when he does, it'll be fun. It looks like this is the year of the return in the WWE, as many of the top superstars have returned, including one Y2J, Chris Jericho. We're going to get into his return in just a little bit, and what exactly it means, what is he doing, and why his silence speaks volumes for what is going to happen at WrestleMania. Well, that is, it's a pretty good replica of Chris Jericho's jacket. You can actually buy one off my online store. I will actually make, design, and ship it to you for about $199.99 and shipping of about $66 or something. Yeah, sure. Chris Jericho is back, and for 2 straight weeks he has nothing to say to the WWE Universe. Why is this?
He's actually said a lot.
Exactly, Cole. He has said a lot. What Chris Jericho is doing, and there's a lot of anger out there on the internet fans who I despise. Anyway, oh, by the way, we're on the internet. And we're fans. Yeah, hate ourselves. Chris Jericho, by not saying anything week in and week out, and by the way, this is going to go on for a while, so get used to it. Chris Jericho is going to come in week and week out until these cheers and this adulation turns to boos. And then the prodigal son who has returned is going to turn his anger towards fan favorite of today, CM Punk. It's going to be Chris Jericho versus CM Punk at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Now, he's not winning the Royal Rumble. We've already said that's going to be Randy Orton. But Chris Jericho is going to face Punk at WrestleMania for the title, and it's going to be a terrific match. And it's going to be basically a battle of the new brash WWE superstar on the mic, CM Punk, versus the guy who never kept his mouth shut, Y2J. Jericho has always tried to reinvent himself, and, you know, up until his last point, he was the slow-talking heel. And I'm going to beat any blah and the best and the blah blah blah. Miz stole that from him, and you know, obviously I think he's a little upset about that. I would be too. I mean, he worked really hard at the character. It was great. It was actually probably the best run that Chris Jericho has had in the WWE. But he wants to reinvent himself, and I don't blame him for doing that. So he goes from the cocky, arrogant guy who's always talking to the slow-talking heel, and now he's the guy who has nothing to say at all. Obviously, this is all going to culminate when the two of them probably will have a war of the words, probably following Royal Rumble, maybe even Elimination Chamber. We'll see how long Chris Jericho drags this out, but it should be a fun feud.
Hopefully they do it at Elimination Chamber.
It would be a fun Elimination Chamber. By the way, it'll be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the week following my birthday, and I will be there, and we'll obviously do a review right after the show. So stay tuned. We'll see you next week with our next wrestling review. This has been Captain Cool Chris Baxter and Coltrane Cole Katie. And, by the way, Natalia, if you are watching, and I know there's probably a
Don't get your hopes up.
Zero? Well, goodbye to the rest of you and Natalia. Keep it in mind. It's $199.99, by the way. And seriously, I will make that jacket.
Yeah, $60 shipping handling.
Yeah, definitely. $66, I think.